What do you make about this development from the United States and trying to get other countries to join to push the Chinese essentially down technologically?
It would be surprising to people to learn that Taiwan's one company, TSMC, is the world's largest semiconductor manufacturer, and it accounts for about 56% of the share of the global market. Inside a smartphone are billions of transistors. Each of them will have a number of semiconductors. Most of them are made in East Asia. This economic pressure campaign against China, which of course impacts Taiwan negatively, is going to have a deleterious effect on all the goods and services. And I mean all. Maybe my mug doesn't have a semiconductor, okay? But to make my tea, I have to put on my stove. It has digital platforms and so on, which have semiconductors. So the US war around semiconductors is damaging the international economy and will damage it further, because it's not going to be easy to pivot away from the semiconductor reliance on Taiwan, South Korea, and so on. The more you put pressure on war in the eastern flank of Asia, the more you're going to disrupt the commodity chains around semiconductors. And in fact, the Taiwanese businesses have been complaining, saying that this new Cold War against China is negatively impacting them. And now increasingly, companies that rely on these chips are saying, calm down. US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen came out and said, we need to calm down. I mean, finally, some sane voices have appeared in Washington, because the facts are against their own policy. You can't sit on the top of a tree and say, I'm just going to cut the branches underneath me. Eventually, your tree is going to get weakened. You're going to fall.
If you were an average Chinese person, how do you feel that the United States does not want to keep you down or make you poor by doing these things against your country?
China is a threat to sections of the US economy that have become quite complacent and have become, in a way, rent seekers, like the big tech companies. Big tech companies, they make money not on production. After all, Apple phones are produced in China. They make their money based on their patents, on the rent they collect on each phone being sold. They are essentially landlords of patents. Well, now when the Chinese have made as good, if not better, phones for much cheaper price, people may not be buying Apple phones. So, Apple faces an existential threat. That's the reason why the United States is trying to impose, a pressure on China, saying, stop developing. People are like, sorry, we have the right to develop. We're not going to be told to sit down when we have stood up.